You already know what time of year it is. It's almost that time. Time to get back up in the tree, up in your saddles, up in your hang-ons, up in your climbers, and chase some big whitetail bucks. Let's go after them this year. Well, welcome back to yet another upcoming hunting season. It is August the 6th and we're headed out to the woods today to do some preseason scout and see what we can find. I'm a little behind on the game. I should have already been out there, but better late than never. So we're headed out to the woods today. I'm probably going to go back to the spot where late season Dad killed that 8-point that y'all saw on the channel. So we're gonna go in there. We're gonna go to another block of woods where we had some awesome deer on camera all season. Just wasn't able to get one on the ground, but we're gonna head in there today and see what kind of sign we got and see where the deer are moving. I've been hunting this area for about 3 years now, so I know pretty much where the deer are early season and late season. So now it's kind of time to get one of those big ones we've been seeing on camera. So all right, well, let's go see what we can find. There's nothing like that first walk back in the woods after you've waited all season to be back. And if you're like me and just love the outdoors, there's nothing like this. Just getting out here and in the outdoors and enjoying it. So I'm headed back into a spot that, if you watch Southern Pursuit, you can look at the honey hole and it's on there. It's a spot me and my buddy, we hunted, had some luck. He actually got a kill in here. We saw some bucks, just a lot of good action in here, and it's a good early season spot, and later in the season it gets good too. So I'm headed back in here first to see if there's any sign. Well, I can tell you there's sign. There's a bunch of tracks in here already, so we're gonna head in here and a little bit deeper and see what we can find. So this is the honey hole, and the first year that we hunted this, the deer would come on the back side of it right there and walk that edge. But last season they picked up a new pattern, and you can see right there where the trail goes up. I'll actually I sit right there on that tree, and the deer would cross the creek right up here and come up and go that way. All the deer that me and my dad saw on this creek, all the deer that we saw on this creek, they had a pattern and they would be moving that way. Well, come to find out on in the season, I knew that there was sorry, bush pulled my thing, but I knew there was a field up in there. It was private. Well, the guy told me it was planted in corn, so the deer were moving that way in the afternoons and coming back. Well, moving that way in the mornings and coming back in the afternoons. So cool little pattern we picked up. It's crazy how deer will stay in the same area a lot, but they just pick different trails to move on. Pretty neat. This right here is 2 big trails they used to walk straight up. You can see they are still using this a lot. Crossing from right over there and right over there. So we actually put a camera up right there last season, and there was a little 8-point on camera. So I think I'm gonna go. I see a bunch of tracks right over there, so I think I want to go look, see what we. just started to question myself which place I wanted to go. And I was just sitting here in the middle of the road. And I hunted over here last year and I had a big buck on camera. I looked over that way, then I looked down the trail and I was like, well, that looks like a deer. And sure enough, I got out of the truck and looked, and right down this trail there was 2 or 3 deer standing there. Couldn't tell what they were. I couldn't get my camera on them, but I'm gonna go down this way and see what I can find. Alright, so at the end of last season, it was late rut, and I sit right here in this spot at the bottom, and this is usually filled up with water. It's got a little bit of water in it, which is good for early season, in my opinion. There's a trail that runs right along it, right here. And I was sitting right up against this big pine right here. And I left my saddle, a part of my saddle gear, and I got aggravated, so I just sat down. Well, about 5 minutes later, I heard something coming through, and about 10 yards from me, a little 4-point stepped out. Big body, but so I set a camera on this trail. I come back the next morning and I checked the camera. Well, that night a monster 8-point had been walking through here. I mean, he was absolutely huge, and this is just right across the road from the other block that we hunt. So this year what we're going to do is we're going to stick to these 2 blocks on this management area. Then I'm going to be hunting some up north, and then I'm going to be headed to Kentucky. So got a lot planned for the season, but hopefully we can get it done in this spot, because this is probably one of my favorite spots to hunt. It is the hardest spot that I hunt, but whenever you kill a deer, it doesn't matter. It all makes it worth it. So, alright, the camera's set up and ready to go. I saw a bunch of deer, didn't get them on camera, but maybe next time. This spot right here looked real familiar to everybody. This is where Dad killed his 8-point last year. Y'all missed it a little bit ago. Let me zoom this thing out. It was crossing the creek back there doing about the same thing. And he steps in something like that right there. And he sinks all the way to his ankles, past his ankles. He gets his foot stuck in a log, and when he goes to pick it up, his shoe stays down. We got this little 5-point here. We got a 8-point here. They're coming in, crossing this creek right here. Let me get this camera off where y'all can see. They're coming in, crossing just like that one buck did that day we shot him. They're keeping the same pattern. So, I mean, we've got a lot of activity in here. It was only in here for a week, and I mean, a 5-point, pretty nice, and 7-point. And we had a bunch of does in here, a couple turkeys. But hey, that's good to know we've got some action in here. A little advice to everybody: whenever you bring a camera way back in the woods like I do, make sure you turn it back on. Did that so many times it ain't funny. Well, at least we know they're back in here, and I know Daddy will be excited to know that this spot's keeps holding deer. So we're going ahead. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just finished up doing some editing, getting ready to drop a couple more videos after this one. A lot of people's been asking how we approached going about that deer last season, and why we went so far back in this block of woods that we went in, so on. And we've got another video coming out this year. We're going completely different than what we're ever used to, because we've been in a climber, we've been in a ladder stand for so long. We're moving to all mobile hunting this year. Daddy just ordered his saddle. I've got my saddle. We're going with Arrow Hunters Kestrel, and man, we love their saddles. I mean, they're great for what we do, and we can't wait to get them for this season. So y'all stay tuned to the channel. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of announcements coming up. As far as we're teaming up with a couple others, I'm not gonna say any names yet.
But we've got big things coming to the channel, so y'all stay tuned to it. And thanks for watching, guys.